We keep things rolling here on the Sports Cubicle. I'm Mike Mercado, and this story is just hitting the news wire. And of course, all news stories here on the Sports Cubicle are brought to you by our friends over at Sheets and Giggles. Visit sheetsandgiggles.com. Check out their amazing mattressing and sheeting and everything in between for a great night's sleep. And of course, use the promo code The Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch, for 15% off your next purchase. This comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter by Alex Wetbring. Roger Goodell signs contract extension with the NFL. The NFL commissioner has signed a new deal that will keep him at the helm of the league through March 2027. The announcement was made as the NFL owners met in New York this week. Quote, the compensation committee updated the full ownership today that an agreement has been reached to extend Commissioner Roger Goodell's contract for 3 years through March 2027. The league said in a statement this past Wednesday. The NFL inked rich media deals with NBC Universal, Paramount, Fox, ESPN, and Amazon in 2021, worth more than $110 billion, in an extraordinary number that reset the standard for sports rights. But it also shifted more games to streaming, a strategic move to make them more accessible to cord cutters. Quote, the technology is changing. The platforms are changing. The economy is changing. We have to be ahead of that strategy at all times so that we are where our fans are and the platforms they want to be on, Goodell told the Hollywood Reporter of the rights deals. The NFL remains the biggest thing on TV, with its live games drawing an order of magnitude more viewers than any other programming, and the Super Bowl serving as a bona fide cultural event, drawing more than 100 million viewers each year. Of course, the NFL has found itself in controversial situations during its tenure. Most notably, it dealt with new research around the game and concussions. And while the league has introduced new safety measures, the nature of tackle football makes it a challenging problem to solve. It also found itself in the middle of the culture wars, with players, most notably Colin Kaepernick, kneeling during the national anthem to protest police brutality. At the time, President Trump berated the league for kneeling, framing the players as unpatriotic. Goodell has been the NFL's commissioner since 2006 and most recently signed a contract extension in 2017. He has worked for the league for 45 years. And again, thank you to the Hollywood Reporter's Alex Wetbring for that article. Roger Goodell signs contract extension with the NFL. And I really want to concentrate at the very end of that article, because I think for most of us who watch the NFL, who cover the NFL, who watch sports, listen to sports, or any part of this little universe that we have here in the sports world, we knew that Roger Goodell was going to stay the commissioner of the NFL. We knew that this deal was imminent, and we knew that it was going to be a big deal. I think people keep asking. I think a lot of fans wonder why Roger Goodell is held at such high esteem by the owners, even if they don't like him necessarily as a person, even if they don't like all the decisions they make. The main reason why Roger Goodell is going to get paid upwards of $40 million is for what this article highlighted at the very end. Look at those key factors that Roger Goodell has weathered the storm for the NFL, for the owners, for the Shield during his tenure as commissioner. The concussion lawsuits, all the uproar of whether or not parents are going to let their children play Little League football, Pop Warner football, all the conversations about off-the-field incidents with players from the National Football League, domestic violence, DUIs, and everything in between. Then, whether you're on one side or the other of the spectrum, the political discourse that happened from Colin Kaepernick moving forward, and the social issues that are brought up by players and fans. And who took all those arrows from either side of the aisle? It wasn't Jerry Jones. It wasn't the McCaskies. It wasn't the Fords. It was Roger Goodell. And that is why he gets paid so much money. That is why the only person Roger Goodell will ever be compared to is David Stern. Because it's not just that he handles great negotiations with the player unions or that he gets good TV deals. Like, look, some of those things are right place, right time, and not getting in your own way. But it's being able to handle the scrutiny, to handle the arrows, to handle the fire. Just look at the NHL commissioner. Look at the way he handles controversy in his league. I think Adam Silver is the closest commissioner that we've had that can hold his own when it comes to that title, like a Roger Goodell. Let's not even start it about Rob Manfred. That is the difference. Look at the way, the competency in which Roger Goodell holds himself. Look at the way in which he ingrates himself to the culture of fandom and to popularity, pop culture. He does that better than anybody else. A close second might be Adam Silver, but that close second's a huge margin because just how big the NFL is and how much bigger it's getting. And don't think that it's a coincidence that the Jaguars played back-to-back games in London and now we have 2 Germany games kind of out of nowhere. Oh, they swept that under the rug. Who would have noticed that? They're playing the long game. Roger Goodell has constantly played the long game. So while maybe the story of the moment, the flavor of the month, whatever we are discussing on radio, on hot take artist shows, on social media, his job is to take that, handle it, and wait for it to go through the news cycle. And guess what? How often are we talking about the concussion problem in the NFL? We've seen players literally lose their lives on the field. Just last season, Damar Hamlin, heart stopped. Not a concussion, but we've seen near death on that field. This season alone, how many big hits have we seen to the brain? And players still play. We still watch. We still gamble. We still gorge our faces because we love it. It's the American pastime of the 21st century. It's the National Football League. And he's been the leader of it. How many times does a player get arrested and it's a story for 5 minutes and we move on? Heck, this guy became the sheriff, right? That's what we used to call him because he was just so heavy-handed with his punishments. And at this point, when was the last time you've seen on your television a player kneeling or the American flag just kind of displayed right in front of you? They've kind of found the way right in the middle, huh? They're going ahead and they're balancing it on that razor wire. So to me, it was never a question of if Roger Goodell was going to be extended as NFL commissioner. It was a question of how many years was he going to get extended and how many millions were the NFL owners going to give him. Let me put it to you this way. As strong as the NFL is, as bigger as it's going to get, if you're an NFL owner, what is it worth to you with all the billions you have to have a commissioner like that? And if every NFL owner paid him $1 million minimum, he's still underpaid for what he does as a shield for the shield of the National Football League. Let us know your thoughts. We're on Twitter at Sports Cubicle TV. Of course, check out our friends over at Sheets and Giggles. Use the promo code The Sports Cubicle, Sports from the Couch, for 15% off your next purchase. Thank you for all the support. Visit us. Check out our shop over at luchadog.shop. We have more coming up next here on The Sports Cubicle. I'm Mike Mercado.